In 1892, in the small town of Exeter, Rhode Island, Mercy Brown's death took an unexpected turn, sparking rumors of supernatural and igniting terrifying fear that gripped an entire community. Was she the cause of a deadly illness, or was something darker at play? Join us as we uncover the story of Mercy Brown. So hop into our morbid time machine and let's get into it. Welcome, inquirers, new and old. Have you ever wanted to go down a rabbit hole of morbid history, but you don't know where to start?
Then you are in the right place. Our Grim Past is a podcast where each week we explore messed up history.
From shipwrecks and spooky places to morally questionable people and practices, we're Sophia
and Maya.
Join us in our morbid time machine
and let's discuss history's most fucked up.
Hey, Maya.
Hi, Sophia.
How are you today?
I'm good. A little tired, but I'm good. How are you?
Also a little tired. It's cold. I hate it.
It's so cold. Like, my face is burning every time I step outside.
No, I was talking to Cadence, one of our guest speakers, guests, a few episodes back.
Liska.
And what's his name?
The killer.
Yeah, the Chicago one.
You guys know what we're talking about. It's fine. He had a bunch of different names, remember?
H.H. Holmes.
Okay, I was
yeah. H.H. Holmes. Yeah, we have a class and we were walking to it, or like walking back from it, and I go, it's so cold. Like, it's so cold that it hurts. And she goes, yeah, that's the frostbite.
Yeah.
And then I was talking to my aunt, and she was like, that's mostly true, except the frostbite comes in once it no longer hurts.
Yeah, it's the prickling and then the numbness.
And then when it feels warm, she was like, yeah, make sure you have your hat on. She was like, yeah, one time in college I got frostbite on my ears because I forgot my hat. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to get frostbite. That would suck.
Yeah.
But no, it's stupid cold. I hate it.
Isn't it supposed to be like -20 wind chill tomorrow?
2-hour delay. They gave us a 2-hour delay.
They hate canceling school.
Right.
My face, like when they canceled the public high schools and elementaries and everything, all of their classes were canceled the whole day, and we didn't even get a delay.
Yeah.
It was literally like snowing when I was back in the class. I was tweaking out.
It was that Friday or Wednesday?
That was Friday. Well, also the Wednesday.
Yeah. Well, Friday I went home because I was like, I knew the weather was supposed to be bad, so I just went home early. And I was like, I'm beating the weather. I'm going back Thursday.
Yeah, I couldn't. That's the day that I worked a bunch, and I was tweaking.
Yeah. No, I hate it here sometimes.
Yeah.
I hate the winter. Y'all, winter sucks. I prefer fall and spring when it's just like nice and we can vibe.
True.
But yeah, that was, love it. Y'all, also, like, exhausted. So if today's a little random and kind of all over the place, today's going to be random and all over the place because there's a lot going on. So yeah, so Mercy Brown, let's kind of get into her. So I first learned about Mercy Brown in middle school. It was 8th grade. And we were reading, it was in a magazine, and we were reading it. But it was also kind of like a reader's theater type thing.
Yeah.
So like we had roles, and I was Mercy Brown.
Ooh.
I got to be the little vampire ghost demon thing.
Main character
energy, yeah. But so we were doing that. It was like right around Halloween, but it was like one of my core memories from 8th grade, other than, the appendix incident. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back to our Cupid episode where you get to hear my lovely Valentine's story of the day I lost my appendix.
Poor Sophia.
I know, and COVID. So the 3 big things from 8th grade: this Mercy Brown thing, COVID, and appendix. We also read this really good book. It was Unwind, Neil Shusterman, I think. Dystopian. Very good. Very sad, but very good.
All of his books are... He's the one that wrote the Scythe series?
Yeah, he does Dystopian.
The Scythe series was so good. I love that series. Did you read through it?
I didn't know. I can no longer do Dystopian.
Right.
8th grade, 7th and 8th grade, that's when I did my dystopia. I was like really, really into Darkest Minds, which was amazing. But if I were to read that now, the anxiety I would have just trying to get through the book.
Yeah, the Scythe one, it's really weird because, like, did you read the first book ever or no?
No.
It's such an interesting premise. Is it okay if I explain it?
Go for it.
Okay, so it's like, it's in the future, and so humanity has found out a way to be immortal.
Oh.
Basically, and it's like, I think if you die, you, like, come back to life, and there's ways, I think, to, like, stay young.
Okay.
If I'm remembering correctly, I think you use, like, I don't know. But, like, basically, people are immortal, and so there's these, like, people, they're called just scythes.
Mm-hmm.
Or Grim Reapers or something. And maybe they're Reapers. I think they're called Reapers.
Okay.
And basically, they're allowed to kill people. So people can die still. Like, if you get hit by a car, you might die, but then people, like, can revive you.
Oh,
like, no matter how long it is, you can get revived.
Oh.
But if you're killed by, like, a Reaper, you're not allowed to be revived again.
Okay.
Like, you get, like, marked, and then your family, like, gets, like, they're safe from it. It's like a random thing.
Okay.
But then, like, the whole family is marked safe for, like, a year or something like that. And it's about a girl and a boy.
Okay.
And they both get chosen to be an apprentice.
Okay.
And the boy, I think, wants to be one, and the girl doesn't want to.
Mm-hmm.
And they're under one who's, like, a very noble one who's, like, not corrupt in anything. And then, but this is, like, off of, like, a very distant memory. But basically, he, like, trains them, and, like, they, like, have a little falling in love arc, but they're, like, basically, since he took 2 apprentices, only one can become a scythe, so or a reaper, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So they have to, like, fight against each other, but they're like, I can like you. And he dies.
Oh.
The mentor dies, and it's like, who killed him? I think the boy is blamed for it, and he goes on the run, and the girl becomes a reaper.
Okay.
And it's really interesting. They all are named after historical figures.
Oh.
And so that's, like, really cool. So I don't remember who she was, but that's kind of cool. And like, they have a specific robe color, which becomes, like, their color and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's all really interesting.
Yeah.
And they have specific ways they kill people. Like, some it's like by gun, some by it's like poison.
Yeah.
Like, they have different ways. And like, some just will do it. And like, because it's like really weird, because some of them like killing people, and some of them are like respectful and will tell them before like they die. So they have time to like tell their families and things, which is cool. Yeah. So she becomes one, and he starts like working as like a vigilante and stuff, and like overtaking the organization. And there's it's basically this giant AI thing that controls the world. So it's like Google but crazier. Okay. So like, we'll answer all your questions and stuff, but it has like kind of a mind of its own. And he connects well with this random boy who, he's an orphan, so that was like his father figure that took care of him or something. And then he ends up like, I think, going on an undercover mission or something. And then this island that the AI made gets sunk. Oh. And the 2 Reapers, like apprentices, get like stuck in a vault in there and sink to the like bottom of the floor. And this AI thing is so mad at humanity for like breaking his island that it like screams through every like electronic thing in the world and shuts off. It won't talk to anyone. It still like works, but it won't talk to anyone except for this one boy. Oh. And then he becomes like a prophet, and like a whole like cult religion circles around him because he's the only one that still can talk to like this AI thing. Oh. And like control it kind of. And then that's really weird. And then basically we find out that humanity, like the population, is getting too big. And so that's why the Reapers were made, right? Oh. But they're not enough. And there's this group making a virus that would take out like a lot of humanity instead of like Reapers to like help with it. And that would like control it naturally, but it was like stopped by a group of evil people. And then they set that off. And then they take a group of humans into outer space on a spaceship. Oh my god. And this guy, it's like, so there's a thing to like reset your age basically, and once you reset it, you become young again or whatever.
Okay.
And so the girl ends up like dying, but she's in like a stasis basically, and she has to be for the whole like spaceship ride, and that's like 300 years or something, or like 100. I think it's probably 100. And he doesn't age at all.
Oh, okay.
To be able to like be with her without being like fake or something. Yeah. And I don't know, it's this whole thing. It's really cute. And the book is like really weird, and it's like stuff from the future, and it's like perspectives from those three, and then from the AI, and then it's like readings from a girl who's studying like scripture.
Oh.
And it's about like the people coming to the new planet. Oh. Like she's in the far off future of when the humans came, and so she's like talking about the AI and like the boy who could like he was the only one that could connect, and like this other one, it's really crazy.
That's the other, like, that was the thing with Unwind. It also had the multiple perspectives. It was really, really interesting, actually. Have you ever read Unwind?
I don't know, maybe.
Okay, so that one's about, America went through like a civil war, and like in the future, and it was like over pro-life, pro-choice. Yeah. So they decide, okay, you know what? Here's what we're gonna do. If you get pregnant, you gotta have the kid. However, like during this time, they found like a way to basically use a whole body and like transplant it to someone else. So like they could do like arm transplants successfully, or tongue transplants, nose like all sorts of things like that. So they're like, okay, you know what? Here's what we're gonna do. Between the ages of 12 and 18, you can actually send your child to be unwound, where basically they're turned into like donor parts. and it's like normal. And then there's like, it follows like a whole bunch of different people. So like the first guy that you're introduced to, he's like kind of like naughty. So his parents were like, you know what, screw it, we're gonna send you to be unwound, and like they signed it. And like the one thing that I remember, the first chapter was called In Triplicate, because that's what it was signed, like his unwind papers were signed in triplicate. So it was like, it was a big deal. Then like there's this other guy, his name was Lev, but like his family was super religious. The family had like 10 kids, and you know, in like religion, there's like tithing, where you give 10% of your possessions to the church. So he was the tithe child. So he was going to be, once he turned 12, he was sent to be unwound.
Wow.
And like he was essentially just raised to be this donor child. Then there's this other girl, because you have to have kids, there's a lot of kids in the foster care system. Or there's also this thing that they did, it was called storking, where you could just leave a baby on a doorstep, and as long as you didn't get caught, you could keep the baby. Or like the other person had to keep the baby.
Oh.
But no, the foster system was completely like overrun. So they had like everyone in the system like had to have like a talent, and this girl was a pianist, but she wasn't good enough. So she was being sent to go be unwound because they couldn't take care of her anymore. But then like they run away and like get sent to this, or like find this like place where like runaway unwind children go and can stay until they're 18, and then they'll be safe. Then they get caught and end up at the unwind camp. And then there is this one chapter of like this horrible character getting like unwound. So like it's the whole description. It's like, oh, that was a little rough to read. It was very sad to read, because like up until this point, we're like, oh, we hate this character. This character is an awful person. But like hearing his thoughts like into that, because he's conscious for the entire thing, because that's part of it is, well, we're not killing them. So they have to be conscious for the entire thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, I felt when they took my arm. Like, he didn't feel the pain, but he felt like,
oh my God.
I know. Like, it was crazy. Like, or like, I could see them take my arm away. Which is absolutely insane and like devastating. And then there's like these terrorists group. I think they were called the Clappers. I may be wrong. because they had these bombs that they would clap and then it would blow things up. So there were these like clapper people sent to the camp and they blew it up. The main dude ended up getting hurt. I think he was trying to save someone. And then the girl also got hurt, but she was conscious enough to say, actually, no, I don't. Like, she broke her spine. She was like, no, I don't want a new spine. Like, I'm going to stay, like, disabled. Because, like, in this future, there's no disabilities. But since she decided to stay disabled, then they couldn't unwind her.
Oh, because she's, like, not perfect anymore? Like, do you mean?
Yeah, because they have to, it was like, they have to take 97% of the body.
Yeah.
And, like, that's too much. But the dude, he was unconscious, so he got a new arm, which was the arm of the guy that we saw get unwound.
Oh my god.
I know. And it's, like, a whole series. But then they end up going back to, like, that, like, place and, like, helping the runaway unwind people. And it was actually really, really interesting. It was really interesting for 7th grade. But
there's like a similar-ish book I've read. It was with like life things kind of like, I think that's like, I feel like that's such an interesting dystopian way.
Yeah.
And it was like basically people, it was the way this book was written was so awesome. It was a deviation of our timeline.
Okay.
Like basically it was like, I think in the Second World War, like the explosion caused like 2 timelines. So like their timeline was different than ours.
Okay.
Basically. And now people had 9 lives.
Oh.
And so you're born on your first and you have a number like on your neck that says 1. And after you die, you become like a more perfect version of yourself.
Oh.
So like when you're 9, you're like super gorgeous, really strong, amazingly smart, right? But like you could just die.
Yeah.
And so people like have like Russian roulette parties and stuff and will just like shoot people and like they actually die and like things like that. And people will just like jump off buildings and things like that. But there's this thing like called like rushing or something.
Oh, okay.
Where like you continuously like kill yourself over and over again to get your number to go really high.
Oh.
And if you do that, you'll go crazy.
Oh.
And you'll forget who you are.
Oh.
And there's like systems put in place in like buildings. So it's basically like when you die, you're reborn in like a lake.
Okay.
Basically, and then you have to like swim to shore and then they like process you. But they find out that the government has been taking people and killing them more times than their like number says.
Oh.
So like someone might think they're on their 4th life, but they're actually on their 8th.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then so he like uncovers it and stuff. And the book's interesting because so the main character was a 1 and he was like discriminated against, right? Because like no one would take him because they're like, you're a 1, like you're useless. And then he becomes a 2 in order to get a job to help his family.
Yeah.
Because his mom died. Like she went crazy from like overclocking or whatever it is. And there's like a really rich guy who's like the son of the governor whose name is, I don't know. And then he works with like a girl and his younger brother. And they uncover it, but the rich guy like wants to take the credit for it to take his dad down, and he like lets him take it and like use that information, and then in exchange he gets a number 9 without being like a 9. So then him and his brother are like safe.
Okay.
And like they're super rich for the rest of their life. But it's like really interesting because like in most like situations, a person would be like, no, I'm gonna save humanity. And he chooses not to.
Yeah.
He chooses to protect his brother instead.
Yeah.
And I was like, right.
That was interesting. Yeah. No, had a lot of interesting things. But kind of back to our topic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got way off there. Mercy Brown. So, as I mentioned before, this was 1892 in Exeter, Rhode Island. So, years earlier, her mom had actually died. So, Mercy Brown's mother had died.
Okay.
Of what we now know as tuberculosis. Then it was called consumption. Because you're consumed.
Yeah.
By it or whatever. So then Mercy gets sick and she dies and she's buried and whatever. Like, it's all fine. So all is good, all is well and good. While Mercy was sick, her brother also got sick.
Okay.
But her brother went to the mountains to get better. Like, because like mountain air helps.
Yeah. They go to the mountains, women go to the beach.
Yeah. But
you get my joke.
No.
It's like, it was like a sick woman, you have to send her to like the like seashore and like she'll get better.
Oh,
like she's crazy. Send her off to the beach.
Yeah.
Do you know?
No.
Really?
No.
It was like send her to the country.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
Like it was like the clean air of the ocean.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm laughing.
Ha ha ha.
I'm only laughing.
So he's sent to the mountains and he's getting better.
Yeah.
Well, Mercy doesn't get better and she dies.
Yeah.
So she's buried. This is in the time of grave robbings but this is also in the times of people being falsely declared as dead.
Well, you can't win everything.
But no, there were definitely have you heard about some of the ways that they would like check for like actual death?
They would like you would use a needle on their fingers,
or that you'd stick it under the toenail.
Yeah,
like or like you'd pry the fingernails off,
mm-hmm.
which is like horrific. So she was buried. The brother comes back. Then all of a sudden he starts getting worse. And he starts like dying again.
Oh.
So they're like, well, what Mercy must like, she must have cursed him. She's coming. And so they like check her grave. And they decide, you know what, the best way to get rid of this is we're gonna take out her liver, grind it up, and make the brother eat it.
Okay, that's like actually number one way to die.
Or like it was like the liver or the pancreas. It was some organ. And they're like, you know what, bro, you're gonna eat this. This is what's gonna make you better. But like, I feel like that's interesting because if you remember back to our grave robbing episode, you mentioned the blood of the dying people.
But it's fresh blood.
Yeah.
From a dead person. Well, there's it wasn't blood, it was like mummy bones.
Yes.
But yeah.
There's that. And like the idea of like drinking blood and like eating humans and stuff. Like the thought process of that has been like that it makes you better was not new at this point.
No,
like,
yeah.
The blood countess, I can never remember her name off the top of my head.
I know who you're talking about.
Elizabeth Bathory.
Yeah.
But she would like bathe in the blood of her maiden maids in order to like stay young. Which is crazy. But there were other things. Interesting person. We might have to go into her sometime. Dive deeper into her story. But like, spoiler alert, eating the liver pancreas thing, it did not work.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Who would have thunk? But like, I know eating pancreas was like eating organs was considered to be like something that helped cure it.
Yeah.
Not, I feel like the ones of a very dead person.
See, well, it wasn't like, she wasn't like super dead. It was like within like, I want to say a month.
Okay, that's still enough to rot.
She was buried in the winter.
Okay, I'm forgiving them a bit.
Yeah, it was the winter.
Okay.
So like, there was still.
Yeah.
But like, all of these people in her family were dying. And they're like, she's cursed us.
Yeah.
She's like, what is going on? They were giving each other TB. We're just spreading the tuberculosis.
Yeah. Well.
But you know, like demon, I can see it. The sickness is going around school, and it does kind of feel like an evil spirit sometimes. Stocked up on my vitamin C. Not getting sick, guys. I'm not getting sick.
Imagine I get like the flu on top of mono.
Oh, that would suck.
Yeah, like I get strep and 3 weeks later I get mono, or however long.
Because I feel like that was a month between.
No, I had strep winter break, and then I got like a cold, and then
I thought you had strep on fall break.
When was that?
When you went to the health center. I want to say that was closer to fall break.
No, because I moved out. I changed rooms before fall.
You did?
Yeah, it was like right before fall break. I was in my new room. I'm trying to remember.
I know, but wasn't it like right after fall break?
I'm like trying to remember.
No, actually, no. It was towards the end of the semester because it was during our.
It was right before finals.
Yeah, because it was during our persuasive speeches. Yeah. Oh my gosh, time is weird, y'all.
Is that me?
That is you.
Are we the back?
We are the background.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
I love that picture of us.
We're so goofy.
Yeah. Fire drill.
Look-key, I may have accidentally deleted that audio off of my phone.
I still have the audio.
Okay, because I was trying to clear storage and I don't know if that went away.
Yeah.
So
you're fine.
Okay, wait. I have to let you cook real quick because we're like the time.
That is pretty much it.
That's it? Oh, okay. Yeah, they're giving each other.
They're giving each other tuberculosis.
Consumption.
And consumption.
Everyone was doing.
Yeah.
Everyone was getting consumption.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so real.
Yeah.
I fear this was a dystopia with a side of mercy.
Yeah. Y'all, that might happen sometimes. Just TBH.
Yeah.
Especially if we're like running on a combined single brain cell.
Yeah. I think you have more of the brain cells than I do. I think it's like a 3/4, 1/4
kind of situation instead of half and half.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're trying, y'all. College is...
I'm getting cooked.
Yeah.
I get to go back and I bought a rug scraper and I'm going to scrape my rug and do homework.
I'm going to study for my exam that I have tomorrow. Okay. What is our next step? Well, thank you for coming along on this lovely, lovely ride that we had. Join us next week as we talk about the Winchester House. So we're kind of going back to a little haunted house. Mm-hmm. Not little. It was a big haunted house.
We haven't had one for a while.
We haven't had haunts in a while. Well, let's go with our last one. Was it? Yeah, I think so. Okay. All right. Thanks for listening. Stay curious.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us today. As always, all sources will be listed in the show notes below.
Be sure to subscribe so you won't miss out on our upcoming discussions. Join us next week as we delve into the intriguing depths of our grim past.
Stay curious. There's so much more to uncover.